I know that the protocol has already been established, but please allow me to acknowledge your very, very dedicated principal, Mr. Stanford Davis. And of course, in his absence, I'm told he just stepped out, the very committed chairman, Mr. Lawrence Johnson. Of course, I must acknowledge your specially invited guest speaker. I must acknowledge the counselor of the Knockpatrick Division, Mr. Carl Smith, the hard-working members of the academic, auxiliary, and ancillary staff, the parents, and of course, a special good afternoon and acknowledgements to the graduating class of 2025. The reason I am late, and I don't like to be late, is because there are several graduations happening across the constituency. I am just coming from Richmond Primary School, and having received the invitations from the various schools, as Member of Parliament, I try to accept as many as I possibly can. Today is also the day for Parliament, so you will have to excuse me very shortly after my presentation. I have to get back into Kingston. But because Mayday High School is one of those high schools that are very dear to my heart. Those of you who are from the constituency, the parish, or those who have heard about Mayday, we know the Mayday of yesterday is not the Mayday of today. There was a time when students would hear that they're going off to Mayday High School and they would be upset and they didn't want to go. But nowadays, when students hear that they have passed from Mayday High School, they're very excited and anxious to go. I think that is a big thing. And I can say that because one of my cousins, who I'm very, very proud of, 5 years ago when she received her results from El Instituto and was told she was going to be placed at Mayday High School, her parents thought it necessary to send her to Mayday, and no transfer was sought. I have a second cousin who is in grade 7, and when she got the result, we decided as a family that great things are happening at Mayday High School, so of course they can come to Mayday. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a principal, Mr. Davis. He has my personal contact. And your chairman, Mr. Johnson, both of them have my contact. And they are not afraid to call on me whenever they need any form of assistance for the school. And it has always been my pleasure to offer as much support as I can. Because I am an educator, I'm a trained teacher. So I know the sacrifices that goes into ensuring the success of your children, our students. And because of how difficult my upbringing was, and I know that is my access to education and training, why I can stand here today as a PhD candidate and first female member of parliament from this constituency, the entire parish, and Jamaica's youngest member of parliament. And so because of my own difficulties, I make it my duty to invest heavily in education. So over the past 4.5 years, I have already spent $30 million in educational opportunities, educational initiatives across the constituency. From those funds, I give support to schools and support to individual children. And in your school alone, Mayday High School, I have been able to grant 95 of your students tuition grants. I think I deserve an applause for that. I have been able to provide 25 book grants to students of Mayday High School. I've also been able to provide technological devices. The list is so long, I don't want to go through the list. But I've provided various support. Persons doing CXC and their parents are not able to pay it. And just last week, 3 parents approached to say that they had not completed the balance for their school fees. And without paying that, they won't be able to get the graduation package to pay for that and to graduate. And I happily did that. And I do that because I have been taught to pay it forward. And when you become successful, it's not an opportunity to show off on people. It's an opportunity to look back and to see how many other people you can help. My cousin who is graduating today, Rihanna Richmond, her mother is in the audience, Carleen Wood. She's my older cousin. And I'm not afraid to say, and I know we're streaming online, but she will tell you, they are related to me, my father's side of the family. I live with my mother and her side of the family. So they lived in Knockpatrick, and I began my journey in Greyground. And I grew up in Greyground in a little 1-bedroom, made from board and zinc, wattle and daub, 17 of us in the 1-bedroom, outside kitchen, pit latrine, having to go to Santa Cruz Market to sell with my mother. Some of the very best times I've had is when I would go to Knockpatrick to spend time with my cousin Carleen and my father's side of the family there. I remember the first time I was about 16 and I was going on a trip abroad, and it was Rihanna who's graduating today, her mother. It was her mother's clothes that I had to pack in the suitcase to carry. And a lot of times I had to go there for lunch money and to get a good meal. I'm telling you these stories just to say that if I could have gone through so many difficulties and trying times, you have no excuse to be successful, because many of you have not had the challenging journey that I have had. And I could tell you some more stories that would move you to tears, but the show is not about me. It is your show. And I just want to say how very proud I am of the students, how very impressed I am with the parents and the support that they have given to the school. And I want to encourage you to continue to support them as they prepare for their next step of the journey. 2 things before I take my seat. Recently, on a tour with the newest member of well, not so new, but one of the newest members of the cabinet, our very committed education minister, the Honorable Dana Morris Dixon. We toured the schools in the constituency that I would want the minister to visit and to offer support. And we visited Mayday High School. We spoke with principal. We met in the staff room. We spoke to teachers. We heard the concerns. And I'm very happy to announce that very soon you will see various construction taking place at Mayday High School as part of the school expansion program. When we stood in the classroom, in the staff room, it was so hot. We were burning up. And after, observing the teachers fanning like some of you are fanning now, I said to myself, my gosh, the staff room is too hot for the teachers to operate from. And I made a personal commitment, not from any taxpayers' funds, from my own pocket, to purchase AC units for the staff room. Principal has made the commitment that once I bring those AC units, he'll get them installed, right, Principal? Well, I'm happy to announce that they have been bought. They're going to be delivered in the morning to the school. So to install them, I'm leaving that now to Principal. But I have bought them, and we're delivering them to the school tomorrow. Now, when I left Shortwood Teachers College, my mother didn't have the money to start me off at Shortwood Teachers College. And I remember my mother and my aunt taking a public bus to Kingston to a loan entity, Chris and Charles, to borrow a portion of the money so that we could pay, so that I could register. And as a little young girl just coming from country for the first time, that was very worrisome. Long story short, she got a portion of the fees. It still wasn't enough. But when I sat at Knox and Rihanna's mother was there and grandma, I was graduating with honors and wasn't able to celebrate too much because I was wondering, how am I going to go off to college? And my parents taught me that the only way to escape hardship and difficult times is to get a good education. And I sat among my classmates wondering what next. And I know it's not easy, but I want to encourage you, do not allow the absence of the financial resources to prevent you from moving on to tertiary institutions. There are so many scholarship opportunities by the government. Student loan no longer requires guarantors. There are so many scholarship opportunities as well by the private sector. And there's some programs at heart where you are paid while you earn a skill. One of the programs gives you $85,000 every month while teaching you to drive. And there's another one, the care program, you're given less, but you get enough to pay your transportation and your lunch. Make use of those opportunities. And everybody knows that every year since I've been member of parliament, I open my doors very wide, and those who are moving on to tertiary institution are able to come and apply for tertiary assistance. My only requirement is that you're from the constituency or your parent is from the constituency. But when you come, I don't want to know if you're JLP or PNP. That is not my business. I am member of parliament, and as member of parliament, it is my duty to look after the well-being of all the constituents. I want to finally, like I said earlier, I would have been very happy if when I was about to go to college, if I'd even gotten $10,000 that I could use to buy my soap and toiletry that I'd want for boarding. Any money at all from anyone would have been useful. So today I want to give one of your students a start. This student has demonstrated exemplary academic performance, exemplary leadership qualities and sound academic excellence. And I want to give this student $100,000 that can be used towards either their tuition or for the purpose of laptop, tablets, any educational opportunities. If the student who is receiving this award has a scholarship to go off to university and is not in need, you have still earned the scholarship. So the only thing I would say, pass it to someone else in your family who is in need. But I'm not going to withhold it from a student who has earned it. I don't know the student. I've never met the student. I've asked the school to assist me in identifying that student. May I invite Aldi and Lewis to join me on stage? Listen, I don't want to say it's nepotism and cronism, but she just whispered to me that my cousin happens to be her best friend. But I tell you, I don't know her. She says she's going to move on to sixth form and then to medical school. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.